We're with House Delegates member, third term, Portsmouth and Chesapeake, Virginia, southeast area, Steve Heretick. Delegate, great to have you.
Hi, John. Once again, Happy New Year to you. It's good to see you.
And thanks for letting us have your office.
Sure.
We're going to get Tom Speciale in with us here in a couple minutes. Also get his take. He's a Republican candidate for U.S. Senate, which will be decided in a June primary, not a convention, I hope. So I hate conventions, as you know. Now, the governor's press conference yesterday, a little bizarre, but then he's closing the square, 10-foot fence, one point of entry. What did you make of the whole thing?
Well, John, I mean, I have to say that the governor or the superintendent of state police, the chief of the Capitol Police, they're privy to information that the rest of us are not getting. We're getting security briefings like the rest of the public. But, I have to say that, frankly, those of us in the Assembly are looking forward to, coming to work on Monday and trying to do what we're sent here to do. I mean, it's, there are going to be a lot of people here. There's no question about that. I think all of us respect and want to defend everyone's First Amendment rights, and there are those of us who want to protect everyone's Second Amendment rights at the same time. But needless to say, like I said, Superintendent of State Police, Capitol Police, I mean, they tell us that there have been some threats, and they're trying to take preventive measures to help keep everybody safe as Monday unfolds.
Well, a lot of us found that press conference to be a little suspect. One of the things that bothered me is the fact that there's only one point of entry for 100,000 people. How do you do that?
Listen, John, I have no idea. I'm a delegate. I've got something like 28 bills I'm working on. I chair 3 different subcommittees. My time is pretty much taken up by trying to move legislation. So we will deal with the security as we have to. I don't think any of us are going to be, exactly thrilled by just the sheer number of people that are coming in on Monday, because it's just more than the Capitol typically sees, even in an inauguration. So I'm going to sit back and hope that everybody, I think, it plays out peacefully, and that we can get on to regular business.
Playing out peacefully is the key. That's why we're telling people, come to the rally. Don't bring a gun. Bring a friend, because the purpose of a rally is to get energized and get people to be able to a voice, if you will, in the political process.
Right.
And we got Andrew Vehorn here. He's with us, and let's get off this rally and get to some other things going on, Steve. Yesterday, I had on the chief of the Pamunkey Indian tribe, Robert Gray.
Mm-hmm.
Listening to Robert Gray, the chief of the tribe, who has tried to get status for 30 years to aid the economic plight of his Indian American tribe members. And they signed the deal with the city of Norfolk, which you represent some precincts there, for this pretty elaborate destination casino hotel, 200 rooms, right by the Amtrak station, Harbor Park. I don't see how the General Assembly, if you pass casino gaming, is going to cut them out of the equation and not give them a license after all they've been through.
Well, John, I have to tell you that there are plenty of proposals out there. There are a lot of casino developers who want to come to Virginia. But, we're not going to put the cart before the horse. I mean, let's pass the legislation first. Let's see what's going to be in it in its final version. And then we can turn to, the Pamunkey tribe and, any other vendors who want to come to Virginia. I mean, it's, one thing at a time.
Gaming overall, I know you guys did a 1-year study on it. It was shared with the members. What was your overall reaction to that?
I don't think the study had any real surprises. I think that the JLARC study pointed up a number of issues that we have to, remain mindful of. But at the same time, I think it also underscored, the tremendous economic development potential that casino gaming has for Virginia, recognizing that, on any given day we have, residents of Virginia, our neighbors, who are going to Maryland, across the Wilson Bridge, across from Alexandria to the MGM Casino. We have folks from my area down in Hampton Roads who go up Route 13 to Dover, to Atlantic City. That's revenue that we're losing from Virginia.
Right.
And I think that there are those of us who believe that no matter how what you feel about gambling, we should be able to, take that revenue and apply it to, Virginia's needs as opposed to New Jersey's. I mean, simple as that.
Right. Well, and the thing is, we've got you've got the Pamunkey tribe. Obviously, they have this deal with Norfolk, and then you've got Rosie's Gaming that have put $300 million in Virginia to bring horse racing back. Part of what they've done, obviously, is the historical horse racing machines that are kind of like slot machines, but not a full gaming casino. I'm just hoping that we can find a way that it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, I think we all think that.
Yeah.
And as you probably know, I am the chief co-patron of the House version of the gaming bill. So I've been working closely with Delegate Barry Knight of Virginia Beach on the House version. I know that Senator Louis Lucas, who's been working on this for probably over 25 years now, is championing the Senate version. So we are meeting formally or informally about every other day to try to figure out where we are, because as you might imagine, there's a lot of interest in this legislation, and we want to get it right, and we don't necessarily want to borrow the problems that we've seen in other states who brought in casino gaming, but we want to do it in a way that's consistent with Virginia values, with our needs, and we want to get it right for our citizens. Simple as that.
Looks like you're looking for a way to kind of have a win-win, like I am, for the various entities.
Absolutely. I mean,
I think the people that are in the state first should be able to compete on a level playing field.
No, listen, and that's absolutely part of what we're trying to do, is to make sure that, like, for example, the Pamunkey tribe, get an absolutely fair shake. We understand that certainly there are a lot of very major players out there who want to come to Virginia. We don't want to, lose sight or lose priority of our own folks in that process. So we want to put them on equal footing. If they can, put a casino resort on the ground that, as they say they can, we want to give them every opportunity to do just that.
Let's talk about the Family Leave Act, which is making its way through Virginia, which I'm very supportive of, even as a conservative. I think it's the absolute right thing to do.
Yeah.
And we're with Steve Heretick. Steve is a Democrat, House of Delegates member representing parts of Chesapeake, all of Portsmouth, and 3 precincts in Norfolk. So kind of an interesting territory that you have. Talking about gerrymandering it is kind of weird, but that's what you have. You can't even follow it on a map. It's not even contiguous except for the water. So the Family Leave Act, which has been promoted also on a federal level by senior advisor to Donald Trump, Ivanka Trump, would basically allow, the way it works is, so that everybody understands it, it would allow an employee up to 13 weeks, right? 12 weeks.
I think it's 12. Yeah.
12 weeks of paid family leave at 70% of salary, but it's a fund that both the employer and the employee pay into, the same as unemployment insurance. And, of course, nobody would argue how important unemployment insurance is. You have a company, you pay an employee. Part of what you pay them, as an employer, you contribute. Steve, you own a business, you understand this.
Yep,
you contribute
sure
to the unemployment fund. The employee contributes to the unemployment fund.
Yep.
So we have a fund. If things go down, there's something to draw until the employee gets back on their feet. So the Family Leave Act is set up the same way, both federally and states mirroring that. And there's also a carve-out for very small businesses because, look, I've got 5 employees. If I lose somebody for 12 weeks, that's a hardship to my business. Not like when you have 100 employees. It's different, right? So, but a lot of conservatives look at this and they say, government's involved. But I'm a small business owner, and I am 100% back that. Because here's the benefit to small businesses, and then I want to get your comment on it. If I have a good employee, I don't want to lose them. So if there's a family issue, medical or otherwise, their family member gets sick, and they need to take 12 weeks off, and they can do it at 70%, I want them to fix that and come back, right?
Well, yeah, and I have to tell you, I'm a small businessman too. I have a small law practice, and
we're in the same boat.
Well, and but the way I look at it is this: you do what you can to take care of your folks. I had the very unfortunate situation of having a paralegal, and she and I worked closely together for years, and she developed breast cancer. And the last thing I wanted to do as an employer while she was undergoing chemotherapy and surgery and trying to recover from all of that, was to penalize her. And we found a way to continue to pay her during all of that time. I think that's the least we owe to her. And if we can take that same sort of thinking and spread it more broadly around Virginia, make it broader public policy, I think it's a fair thing to do.
Where's that bill now?
I honestly don't know. It might well be coming through one of my committees. It just hasn't been assigned as far as I know. We still have a lot of bills waiting for assignment in the House. So if it hits my one of my committee dockets,
But you'll back that.
I certainly support it in current form.
What about redistricting reform? The bill One Virginia that passed in the House 8613 in 2019. Are you going to continue to back that?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it was not a perfect bill last year, but I think it was a significant improvement on what we had. I voted for it last year, and while there seemed to be some efforts out there to try to pull that back, I certainly think that we need to push that forward. It's a commitment we made to, the voters in Virginia, that we would try to get that straightened out. Again, it's not a perfect bill, but show me one. I can tell you I've been here for, it's my 5th year, and I don't know that I've seen a perfect bill yet. So I think it's a commitment we made to the voters of Virginia that we would try to make it as nonpartisan and independent as we possibly can. Ultimately, it would be a referendum, so it would be ultimately up to the voters. I think that's where we need to leave it.
Steve Heretick, thank you. I know you have to take off. Thank you for your office today, and thank you for your insight.
Anytime, John. Thank you, man.
House of Delegates member, Democrat Steve Heretick.